First of all, let me say that I don't care how many views, if any, I get out of these videos. I'm not making them for publicity, which I think is all well and good since I don't expect much from it. But I just wanted to say that right off the bat. I don't want or need to become an internet celebrity. I'm saying the things I'm saying because they're important to say, because they need to be said, and they need to be heard. Not because I am saying them, but because they're important. You see, this is the age of entitlement, and one of the biggest victims are the youth of today. The youth of today have become entitled, narcissistic, dysfunctional people. We've covered partially what is wrong with being entitled in our last video. It causes you to not work hard, to want things handed to you, and to demand to be free from being offended. But really what it boils down to is narcissism. Now, narcissism is a real thing. It's not just someone being full of themselves. It's a recognized mental disorder. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders recognizes it as a mental disorder, a real one. In other words, people who display the characteristics of this disorder have an actual medical condition. Now, here are some of the characteristics of someone suffering from narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD. Grandiose sense of self-importance, preoccupations with fantasies of power or success, belief that they are special and unique, demand excessive admiration, strong sense of entitlement, exploits or takes advantages of others for personal gain, lacking in empathy, envy or extreme jealousy of others, or displaying arrogant behavior or attitudes. Now, I've just described half of the internet, haven't I? Well, let me just take one prominent person from the internet and see if she doesn't fit these criteria. Anita Sarkeesian, a self-proclaimed social critic and gamer. Now, does she have a grandiose sense of self-importance? Yes, she does. She's a self-proclaimed social critic. She makes videos because she thinks what she thinks is important. Is she preoccupied with fantasies of power or success? Well, I can't say for sure, but we'll come back to that in the entitled bit. Does she believe she is special and unique? Clearly. In fact, all social justice warriors feel this way. In fact, it is nothing less than a prerequisite of being an SJW to feel unique and special, to have participation trophies. Well, you're all unique and special little snowflakes. Does she demand admiration? Well, I don't know if I could call what she does a demand for admiration. She certainly has not displayed any behavior like this, to my knowledge, to be fair. Does she have a strong sense of entitlement? Oh, goodness, yes. Her entire existence is based on a sense of entitlement and victimhood. Even though she has been proven to be a fraud, a liar, a thief, and a con artist, she still claims victimhood. She wants to be free from criticism, so she reports anyone who disagrees with her. She disables comments on her videos and blog posts so as not to have to see or hear dissenting opinions. She is a professional victim. Literally, she is being paid for her sense of entitlement. Does she exploit or take advantage of others for personal gain? Oh, only absolutely. Sarkeesian is nothing short of a con artist. She has stolen money from her brainless fans. Every time she asks for money, she gets it, even if she's misusing it or not using it in the way she promised. Either way, she exploits her followers for money on a regular basis. Does she lack in empathy? Yes. She has displayed this regularly on her Twitter feed. Is she envious of others? I don't think so. Not that I've seen. Does she display arrogant behavior? Yes. Her humble brag about being named in Time magazine's 100 most influential people proves that. So she displays 6/7 of the 9 criteria. Now, it is agreed that if you display 5 or more of these, you qualify for NPD. Now, I could have picked any of the SJWs that are prominent in today's media, but I picked Sarkeesian because she is the first one with whom I became familiar. But I could have easily picked Brianna Wu or Zoe Quinn or any feminist, really, or any person on Tumblr who wants to make up their own gender or wants attention and so pretends to be autistic or transgender. Now, who is to blame for this epidemic of narcissists? Well, society as a whole is to blame, really. And in fact, like I mentioned, people who grew up just a little bit after I did, their parents made them who they are. Don't take my word for it. There have been studies about this. A study published this year called Origins of Narcissism in Children pretty much asked the question, why is narcissism on the rise? What is the cause of this epidemic of self-entitled little twats? Well, let's take a look at the study published in the PNAS journal, the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Now, the study opens up with this. Narcissism levels have been increasing among Western youth and contribute to societal problems such as aggression and violence. Wow, that doesn't leave much up for debate. Narcissism is an increasing problem. The question is why? So they've taken two different theories as to why this is. The first one is the social learning theory. Now, this theory asserts that narcissism is cultivated by parental overvaluation. In other words, that parents are telling their children that they are special and unique. Sound familiar? The other theory is the psychoanalytic theory, which posits that narcissism is the result of parents neglecting their children. In other words, quite the opposite of overvaluation. Allow me to read another little excerpt from the study. Social justice warriors feel superior to others, fantasize about personal successes, and believe they deserve special treatment. When social justice warriors feel humiliated, they are prone to lash out aggressively or even violently. Social justice warriors are also at increased risk for mental health problems, including drug addiction, depression, and anxiety. Research shows that social justice warrior syndrome is higher in Western than non-Western countries and suggests that social justice warrior syndrome levels have been steadily increasing among Western youth over the past few decades. Now, I've taken the liberty to replace the words narcissist and narcissism with social justice warrior to prove a point. It seems that the terms are interchangeable, does it not? I mean, can we not all think of examples of this? When we humiliate these people, do they not lash out? Let's take a look at people like Sui Park, who lashed out on national television at her interview with Huffington Post, and Josh Zepp. Why? Because he questioned her. Yeah. Then she took to Twitter to insult him. I mean, the whole thing was an embarrassment to her, and she was the target of a myriad of jokes, so of course she lashed out. Let's take a look at anxiety and the narcissist. All over the internet, you're bombarded with trigger warnings. Now, you have to say that there may be things that upset someone just to make sure they don't have some panic attack or something. Now, there are safe zones in school where you can go and get a hug if you've been offended or upset by an opinion that disagrees with yours. Yeah, that sounds about right. Social justice warriors are narcissists. They meet the criteria. They're all sick in the head, and it's all their parents' fault. When parents tell their kids that they're more special than other kids or that they deserve to be treated specially, children might internalize the belief that they are special individuals who are entitled to privileges. That's straight from the article. It's like they're describing the SJWs exactly. And this is exactly the problem that we discussed in the first video, the Age of Entitlement. People think they're special because their mommies told them they are, because Barney sang to them that they were special, because society is telling everyone that everyone deserves the same things. No more hard work, no more effort, and woe be unto you if you somehow insult or disagree with them. So, what's the solution? Well, for the next generation of children, the solution is not to overvalue them. Stop telling them they're special, little snowflakes. Stop telling them that they're special or that they deserve happiness. Instead, instill in them values like hard work and determination. Show them how to persevere through adversity instead of crying about it. Teach them how to pick themselves up and try again instead of running to the nearest hug box or safe zone. Most of all, teach them personal responsibility. If you fail, it's more than likely your own fault, not society's. As for the SJWs of today, these trolls, as I call them, how do we solve the problem? Well, the best way to deal with a narcissist is to ignore them. As the saying goes, don't feed the troll. Because the troll just wants attention, and as long as they are receiving attention, they will remain relevant. So if we want this human filth, like Sarkeesian, Park, Quinn, and the rest of their ilk, to go away, ignore them. This is how I suggest we defeat this monster. No matter what asinine or inflammatory videos or posts or tweets they make, ignore them. Don't fight fire with fire. Don't respond. Don't click on their pages. Don't go on there to show them how they're wrong or hypocrites. They don't care. They only want the attention, and as long as they're getting it, they'll continue to be relevant. Instead, ignore them. Pretend they don't exist. As hard as it is, don't go over there and engage with them. Now, do you want to speak out against them? Well, okay, but do so elsewhere. Don't speak out against them to them. Speak out against them on your own channel, on your own blog, on your own website. Stop sending them mean and angry messages. Stop sending them ammunition with which they will continue to feed their egos. Stop. It's the only way they will be defeated. Starve them. Without attention, they can't be victims. And if they can't be victims, they have nothing to talk about. Don't feed the troll.